Couples on site, conversations about mining. Hi, Jess. How are you?
Yeah, great. Thanks, Andrew. How you going?
Yeah, really good. So you and I both get this question often with couples. Will the employers take couples on site? And I suppose the easiest answer to the question is yes, but there are some asterisks there, and you've got some stories to tell, and I've got some stories to tell. And I
Yeah.
suppose it really just depends on whoever's running the mine site, the particular mine site that you come on to, what previous
hmm
experience they had. Because,
Yeah.
it just depends on that.
Yeah, definitely. It does. It also depends on, whether maybe one or both of you are a skilled trade or are skilled and have FIFO experience in whatever you're applying for as an operator or as a trade or as a TA or an offsider or whatever it is. If if you've both got experience in that and you've both got all the relevant tickets and qualifications, then sometimes it can be a win for everybody because you can get you to the site and the swing that you want together, or same breaks at least, and they can get two people that are kind of going to be committed to staying because they're there together. So it can be a really good situation. It doesn't happen too often if you're both trying to get entry level. Usually in that regard, we usually say both apply for anything and everything, and then whoever gets onto the best side or the best swing or whichever first kind of help the other one get on. But yes, it can be done and it can work, but don't apply for all your jobs as a couple. Still apply as an individual, go through the application process, and then it's a conversation that needs to be had. And that's, in my opinion, anyway, from the recruitment side of things.
Yeah, yeah. And, just from the employment side of things, if you go to a separate mine site from your partner and you both end up getting 6 months experience up at separate sites, you won't have to
hmm
apply too far to find a site that'll both take you because they're getting two for
Yeah.
one, basically. The only
Yeah.
caveat that I've got on it all is, like I said before, it really depends on who the boss is and what sort of experience that they've had. I've worked on sites before.
hmm
They've all got couple rooms. Most sites have got them. But
Yep.
some sites I've been on, they'll only let you work on opposite swings. They won't let you be on the same swing, but you can be on the same break.
hmm
Other sites I've been on, they've only had good experiences with couples, and they'll let you go on together on the same swing. It just really depends because we've both got some war stories about couples on sites, and it's pretty easy to have a
hmm
bad experience. For me, it was a couple that was before 2000 that happened on site, but they got into a full-on altercation in the crib room, and they started throwing shit at each other. And it was like, it took everybody aback because up to that point they'd been really nice, there'd been no problems, but it was like, holy shit, if it was two normal workers throwing shit at each other, everybody'd be put off site and all that sort of stuff. But when it's the missus
Yeah.
throwing stuff at the husband, it's like, what the hell are you supposed to do? And
Yeah.
so it goes off from there. I know you've got a couple of war stories as well.
We do definitely, and that's another thing I guess you need to think of, whether you're going to kind of bring any drama or awkwardness to your site or to your crew, because it's not going to do you any favors if you're jumping in and you want to pursue this as a career. We had a couple that we worked with, and he was a fitter, and she came in as a Peggy, lovely people, but obviously had some relationship issues, and she was like insanely jealous. And on the days that he was on site that she wasn't, she was peppering all of us with messages about if he was drinking and who was he talking to and what was he doing. And it got really, really awkward because he was drinking and he was telling her he wasn't. And it was just really messy and uncomfortable for everyone. So you really have to honestly have a good think about whether you actually get along with each other and could be together that often, because you're going to be potentially working together, traveling to work together, and together like 24/7. And it can be a bit much for some people if you're already having some type of issues. So just kind of think about everybody else, I guess, and
Yeah,
whether you're going to upset the crew.
I suppose with
Yeah.
the even time rosters now, a lot of companies are playing it safe and a lot of managers are playing it safe. So what
Yeah.
ends up happening is that you fly in on the same day, but you fly in day shift and the partner flies in on night shift,
hmm
and then you do your week or your 2 weeks up there, whatever your swing you're
Yeah.
doing, and then you fly out and you have your week or your 2 weeks off together. That seems to
Yeah.
be the way a lot of places are going. And again,
Yeah.
if you send up that many red flags that you got to be near your partner at the end of the day and all that sort of stuff, because it's just got to be like that. That can be a real red flag for a lot of the employers as well. Because if
Yeah.
if you lose the partner for any reason, they lose you. So yeah, so just be aware of
Mhm.
that. But yeah, they do couples. They like couples because I had an old foreman that used to love having couples on site because he'd always say that if the bloke got pissed off, you know, he'd have to always go and run it past the missus before he'd snatch it. So you know, you'd always
Yeah.
have extra time to calm down with whatever happened. So he liked it
Yeah.
from that point of view that he didn't really lose the couples that often, because you have to run it past your partner before you sort of snatch it. So that's the
Yeah.
plus sides for the employers. But yeah, you know, downside is, you know, when it does all break down, it can break down quite spectacularly, and you don't just lose one member of crew, you lose two. So yeah, that can be the downside of it all.
It can be. So yes, it is possible. Reach out if you have any questions about how to make that happen. If you're a couple looking to get onto site, whether the same site or a different site, or you've got no idea where to start, we can definitely help you with that if you have any more questions on that topic.
Yeah. So if you do have any questions about anything, please, send them through. And if you could share the video around
Yeah.
and like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.